This is part 2C of the Upwork sales process to increase conversion rates by 125%. In this episode, in this document, we're going to go over proposal calls, okay? Now, before this video, you should have watched part 2B on discovery calls, part 2A on structure and mentality, and part 1 on the setting process. If you haven't, check those out first and then jump back into this video. Now, if you have, you know that proposal calls are the second call in the two-part call structure. Okay, the first one is the discovery call, and the second one is the proposal call. Okay, now it's very important that you come into the proposal call already with a written proposal containing the different milestones required for the project, different prices for each milestone, the timelines for each milestone, descriptions of the deliverables, the milestones, and just everything, how it's going to be built from A to Z. The more you provide, the better. The more resources, the more detailed it is to explain the exact process you're going to implement to build a solution for them, the better. Okay. Now, we have a separate guide for how to build a written proposal before coming into the sales call, but that will be coming soon. Okay. By the time you watch this video, it might have already been released, but that is something we're working on that will be released soon. Now, once you're on the actual proposal call, okay, you already wrote everything together, now you're on the proposal call with the lead, with the prospect, with the client, you want to start it off very similar to the discovery call. Joke, quick comment, observation, ask them how they're doing, talk about the weather, whatever it is, just something to break the ice. You're really just trying to find common ground to build a relationship, because people buy from people, okay? So you want to have a great relationship with this prospect, this lead, right? At least a friendly one. Now, after this, get straight down to business. No need to take too long. And you're going to use this exact line to start off the call. It's the yes, no, maybe line. Okay. Now you're going to say, hey, so I'm going to start going over the proposal and explaining everything. And now, before I start, in the past, I've had people that said, maybe, or I need to think about it after I present them the proposal. But I know that really what they're trying to say is no, they don't want to move forward, but they just don't want to hurt my feelings. Now, I don't want us to have the same issue. So if after the proposal, you don't want to go with this, you don't think it's a good solution, it's overpriced, the services aren't what you're looking for, it's fine. Just say no. Trust me, you won't hurt my feelings. Um, I'm old enough at this point. Okay, so let's just stick to a yes or no answer after the call. Now, if you say this, it eliminates any time wasting at all. Okay, any prospect saying, "Oh, I'm going to think about it. Oh, I'll get back to you when I have an answer," and then just ghosting you, right? And it's also funny, when you say that, when you tell the lead that they won't hurt your feelings, usually they laugh. So it's a good way to start off a call, right? This step is crucial. Okay, make sure you say it in every call. Now, after that, you're going to want to straight after it, just share your screen and go over the entire proposal. Okay, you're going to go through all the milestones, what they would require, what they would look like, how the service delivery process works. You might even want to put together a document, like a step-by-step document of how the service delivery process works, why your solution is better than other people's solutions. You're selling them at this point, right? And you're going to answer any questions that they might have, any objections. Really, you want to pause, every few minutes and ask them if everything's making sense, if they have any questions, if everything is sounding good to them, right? So you don't have to wait until the end of the call to stop, breathe, and see if everything's good. No, just stop every few paragraphs. Stop every milestone, every 2 milestones, every few minutes, and just ask them where their head's at. Okay. Now, it's important that while you're going through the proposal, don't show them anything related to price. Okay, just stack the value. I'm going to build this for you, and this, and this, and it's going to be like that, and that's how I'm going to structure it, and this is going to work because of this, and it's going to be amazing because of that. Okay, you want to stack as much value as possible so that they see it as, wow, this is so much things, so much value that I'm getting, so many things that this person is going to build for me, right? And then once everything is super clear, they don't have any more questions about the development, you explain all the different milestones, that's where you want to, boom, drop the final price. Okay, this is the price, $3,000. Once you say $3,000, don't say anything. Just sit there in silence until they respond. They say what they think. Okay. Usually they'll be a bit nervous, or they won't know what to say, or they don't know if it's a yes or no. But just don't cut them off. Just let them give a response. Okay. Now, if they do have any objections, reservations, problems, or they're just not sure if they want to move forward, here's where you have to find out why. Okay. A lot of times it's going to be, oh, I have to think about it. Okay, but what do you have to think about? What's holding you back here? Is it the price? Is it this? Is it that? You have to dig, keep asking questions, prompting them. Don't let them get away with the, oh, I need to think about it. Ask them, like, really, I just want to help you. I'm trying to help you here. So explain to me why my solution, my service isn't the solution to your problems. Maybe we can find a middle ground here. Maybe I can adapt it. Maybe I can lower a price. Maybe I can make it quicker. What's holding you back, right? Um, Literally, you have to frame the conversation in a way where you're just trying to understand where they're coming from. You want to understand them. Okay, you're not ready to move forward. Why? Let me just understand you. Maybe, maybe, maybe I'm missing something, right? You want to hear them say what their reservations are, what their concerns are, and then you simply bring them evidence. Hey, but I have this in the proposal, or we explained this before, and you said we were good to go. Or this doesn't really make sense because on the last call you told me you're looking to start right away, but now you're telling me that you're only looking to start 2 weeks from now. That's why you need to think about it. You want to make sure their argument is rock solid. Just dig, find out why they're not ready to move forward. Okay. The most common objections are these ones. Okay. They don't trust that you are understanding what they need. You don't understand their problems, their goals, what they're trying to build. So they don't trust that you have that full knowledge and full understanding. They don't trust your offer is a good fit. Maybe you're not the right person for the job. They don't think that. They don't trust themselves, right? They don't think that if you help them out, they're going to be able to support you to build everything. Maybe they need support from the rest of their teammates or their partner, or just they don't think it's the right time. They're nervous about making this decision because it's a lot of money for them to spend, and they don't know if they're going to be able to execute. Right? They don't just trust themselves. It has nothing to do with you, or they don't trust the investment makes sense. Might be too expensive for them. Might take too long for them. Um, okay. Now, for these objections, since they're very common, you're going to want to already have predefined responses, predefined counter arguments, or resources on hand ready to prove otherwise, right? To respond to them. Okay. And the more and more sales calls you do, proposal calls you do, the more objections that you hear, you just want to continue to write them down and write down your responses to them. Okay. So just create like an objection sheet, and you can write down everything there just to have it as a reference. Now, if their issue is price, you can ask them if the offer was perfect and you saw a clear path to getting what you want, to finding a solution, to getting ROI, would whatever you're charging them $3,000 be completely unreasonable for you? Would it totally like break the bank? What would make sense for you? What's a number that you're comfortable with? And then from there you can negotiate, try to find a middle ground if it makes sense for you as well. Okay, but just with this, you're showing them that you want to help. Like you're on their side, you're on their team. You want to help find some solution here to work together. Okay. And if they're ready to move forward, okay, they're ready to go. Even if they aren't, you want to get all of their information on that sales call. Okay. You don't want to say, oh, okay, you're ready to go. Okay, bye. We'll talk later. You want to get everything on the sales call. Get their name, their address, their email. Okay. And if possible, it's almost always possible. It's 1,000% recommended that you send them the service agreement or the job on Upwork or whatever you're going to sign with them right on the call. Ask them to sign it on the call or to pay the first milestone on the call, first invoice, because then there's no going back, right? Because if you let them get off the call, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, then they forget about it. Oh, I'll do it next week. And then they can backtrack on the decision. Oh, I'm not sure if I want to do this. They are sure. They told you on the call. They're sure. They want to go forward. But time creates distance. And with distance, they become colder and then they're not sure and then they don't go ahead with it. Right? So it's very important to get everything done on the call if possible. Right? There's situations where you can't, but you want to try to get everything on the call. Okay. Now, the last thing to mention, okay, for these proposal calls and discovery calls as well, um, we want to improve continuously, right? Sales is an art, not a science. Okay, so it's important to not only have this framework that I've showed you, part one, 2A, 2B, 2C, but have a great system in place, setup in place to improve as a salesman, okay, and improve your process. So you need to be tracking your KPIs. That means recording your calls, reviewing them, taking notes. I watch my sales calls um, at times and just see, okay, I did this wrong, I did that right, I should do more of this. This worked, this didn't. Okay, and then you just want to keep the stats and the numbers on the call. So how many calls are you having? What are the quality of the calls? How many did you close? How many did you not close? How many went to the second call? How many didn't even go to the second call? How many people didn't even show up? Right? These are stats that you want to keep in some sort of sheet, document, CRM. Okay, and that's it. With all of this and continuously improving day by day, sales call by sales call, week by week, you're going to increase your conversion rate by 125% or more, right? I've seen it all. Um, so with this sales process, you can go from 1 to 2K, you can go from 5 to 10K, or you can go from 15 to 30K. It all depends on what you're currently doing and how much you're currently making, right? The more you're making, the bigger the lever is. Now, just last mention here, there are a few outlier scenarios that you need to react differently to. For example, what happens if somebody doesn't show up for the call? What do you do then? Or what happens, when they don't decide to sign, they say no, or they say I'm going to think about it, and then they don't respond, and you don't know what to do next, right? You don't just give up on these people. You don't just let them go, because they are potential leads, prospects, if not now, for the future, right? They're potential clients. So we have a dedicated no-show workflow and a dedicated call not closed workflow to explain exactly the step-by-step process you have to do when these situations occur. But that's a topic for the next episode, next video, next document. So make sure to check it out. And with this, you have the full sales process for Upwork.